to make his return to competitive golf at a tournament he's won 5 times. Woods today says as of right now, he feels like he's ready to play at the Masters. Will play 9 more practice holes tomorrow before making a final decision. He'll do so with the intention of playing on Thursday. Tiger also said he thinks he can win.
I can hit it just fine. And I don't have any qualms about what I can do physically from a golf standpoint. It's now walking is the hard part. This is normally not a easy walk to begin with. Now, given the conditions that my leg is in, it gets a little bit more difficult.
Tiger Woods, the Masters would mark his first event on the PGA Tour since suffering serious leg injuries in a car accident in 2021. His tee time is 10:34 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. NBA Lakers will again be without LeBron James tonight against the Suns because of an ankle sprain. LA would be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss in a Spurs win at Denver. Auburn star freshman Jabari Smith entering the NBA draft, the SEC Freshman of the Year, projected as a potential #1 overall pick.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Really good to be back in the studio. A couple of good shows down in New Orleans. Really appreciate the hospitality from our friends over at the Coterie and the French Quarter. And, man, New Orleans and all of college basketball was treated to a magnificent Final Four and a great championship game. It was great theater. You had, of course, Coach K's final game on Saturday, and then the championship game lived up to the billing as well. It really there's 2 parts of Monday night. The first part of Monday night, of course, is the game itself, and the other part is the shadow that hangs over Monday night because of Kansas and their NOA and their violations and winning a championship that they're likely going to vacate. But it, nonetheless, just when you think about last night, 2 historic powers in college basketball, Kansas, which started absolutely on fire in that basketball game, looked like they were the better team and were going to run away with it, only to have North Carolina storm back and take a commanding halftime lead. And then Kansas, of course, would rally from the biggest deficit in the history of the NCAA tournament, the championship game, to win and claim the school's 4th national championship. So congrats to the Jayhawks. I mean, the theater was magnificent. And I think the 2 pieces of last night have to coexist independent of each other, which is we got to enjoy a really fun basketball game, which culminated the tournament. The flip side of it is, the team that won it cheated their ass off. I mean, but it's basically what happens in college basketball. So, I don't care. I mean, I don't care that Will Wade was paying players. I don't care that Kansas was paying players, or Auburn and Bruce Pearl, or anybody else that's gone on and won in college basketball, because it's just the way that business is done in college basketball, and I just don't care. I'm okay with kids getting theirs. So I'll enjoy the theater for what it was last night. It was a great college basketball game. It was a great Final Four, and when Kansas has to pack up that trophy and send it back and take the banners down, we'll probably all be moaning as well. All right, it's after further review. That, however, is not the biggest story. By the way, Justice Hill is going to be with us in 10 minutes. Speaking of LSU basketball. I guess so. Justice Hill will be with us. He was at Murray State. He was one of the first to transfer, the first, actually, to transfer in, the second to transfer into the LSU basketball program under Matt McMahon. So we'll talk to him here in about 10 minutes from right now about why he made the decision he did, what we can expect from Matt McMahon, et cetera. So we're looking forward to that. Momma Scone, 1 hour from right now. There is a debt that has to be paid. Momma Scone, 1 hour from right now. Mike Triplett in hour 3. So the biggest story of the day locally has got to be Tyrann Mathieu, who we saw last week visiting LSU's campus, spent a large chunk of the week around the LSU football program. Well, today, Tyrann Mathieu was visiting the New Orleans Saints. Rappaport, Schefter all reported it. Schefter tweeted out a picture of Tyrann walking into the Saints facility earlier today. I don't know who took this picture. There was no photo credit from Schefter, and I'm guessing he wasn't in New Orleans, like, scoping out the Saints facility. But somebody took that picture, clearly gave it to Schefter, and he did not give any type of credit for the picture. I would assume that whoever took it is Schefter's source inside of the Saints building. But anyway, so there was Tyrann walking inside the Saints facility earlier today. And, of course, Saints Twitter and much of Louisiana Twitter went bonkers because of the thought of Tyrann joining the New Orleans Saints, which is something we've talked about on this show. And really, let's be honest, I mean, everybody has really talked about this for weeks now since it became apparent that Tyrann Mathieu was not going to return to Kansas City. And then on top of that, you have Marcus Williams leaving in free agency, and then you have Malcolm Jenkins retiring. There's just the Saints have the cap space. There's just a very obvious need here for New Orleans. And Tyrann Mathieu would very clearly fill that. Heck, I mean, there's so many edits already on social media of Tyrann wearing a Saints uniform. I mean, we don't even need to really beg for those. They're everywhere. They already exist. So one thing is clear from everybody that covers the Saints and the national reporters and all that is that there's no deal that's imminent here with Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann's going to take his time and make that decision as far as what he'll do. The Saints have a need. And I know with the signing of Justin Evans yesterday, some suggested that maybe the Saints' pursuit of Tyrann Mathieu would be over. I don't really see it that way. Now, you've lost your two starters. You lost Marcus Williams and you lost Malcolm Jenkins. You've replaced one of them with a starter, with a starting caliber NFL player. You got Marcus May in. Now, May's coming off the torn Achilles. He's also got the DUI to deal with, could well be facing suspension. But after that, you've added Daniel Sorensen, who lost his starting job last year in Kansas City and is on a one-year deal and quite honestly is really just a backup special teamer. You re-signed P.J. Williams, who has been more that dime back for you, but he's never played box safety in the way that Malcolm Jenkins did. And then Justin Evans. Justin Evans was a former second-round pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and so the Saints do know Evans well, being that he's been in the division, but you're talking about a guy that hasn't played since 2018. He had injuries in 2019 and 2020 and was out of football in 2021. So it's been 3 years since this guy actually played. So you're hopeful that he can be healthy. Change of scenery might serve him well, and maybe he can make your roster and be a valuable piece in that secondary, but maybe not. So I guess the point is, despite the fact that you've gone out and signed 4 safeties in free agency, only one of them is really a starting caliber player in the NFL. So you still have a need, and you still have plenty of cap space to make a deal work with Tyrann Mathieu if you need to make it work. I think the biggest question is going to be, what is the market for Tyrann Mathieu, and how much money does he want? At this point in free agency, you kind of learn what the market is for certain players. Right when free agency begins, boom, the big ticket free agents land, right? That's what happened with Marcus Williams. And sometimes guys think there's a bigger market than there is. Look at Tyrann Armstead. Tyrann Armstead wanted Trent Williams money. He wanted $22 million a year. He didn't get that. He got far less than that. Still got a great deal. Still got north of 17 a year. Well, that's not 22. And there wasn't a long list of teams lining up ready to pay him that. So, as much as we love Tyrann Mathieu, as great a player as he still is and can be, Kansas City's moving on. He's 29 years old. He has had knee injuries in his career. And depending on what his ask is largely going to depend on what the market is for Tyrann Mathieu. There's a lot of teams that would love Tyrann Mathieu. But does he want $14 million plus per year? That market might not be there for him. But he seems content to wait maybe even after the draft to see what opportunities are there for him, what the market will be. That's what we don't know right now. How much does Tyrann want, and how robust will the market be, especially now that we've gone through the first wave of free agency and the draft is 3 weeks from Thursday. The longer it goes, the more it actually probably benefits New Orleans. The more the leverage shifts away from Tyrann Mathieu in a negotiation and toward the team that covets him. Because if there were multiple offers out there, if it was sort of a feeding frenzy, then obviously that benefits Tyrann. He has the leverage. It doesn't appear to be that way. It's early, and he doesn't seem to be in a rush. But the most essential step, obviously, was Tyrann getting inside of the Saints facility and going there and meeting the staff and meeting the executives in the front office and talking to the coaching staff and to see how that role may fit. And those conversations clearly have begun. Everyone here would love it. I mean, there is a need. Can they push this deal across the finish line? That's something we'll find out in time. I'd love to see it. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. We'll talk to LSU basketball transfer Justice Hill. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138, and reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. It is Relief Windows. You want to lower your energy bills? Relief Windows. You want to beautify the exterior of your home? Relief Windows. You want to make your home more energy efficient? Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138. And remember, they will never take $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work that they do. Where? Only at Relief Windows. 288-8138 or reliefwindows.com. We'll talk to LSU basketball transfer Justice Hill next.
AFR.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit dreams come true. And this year, we need your help more than ever.
We've interviewed these incredible kids, and each and every one of their stories brings tears to our eyes.
To have a dream granted means more to these families than you'll ever know.
And it wouldn't be possible without your help.
Dreams Come True has been hit hard by the events of the past year.
So we ask for your support in helping this incredible cause.
Our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
The motivation I needed to live healthier. My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, new LSU basketball coach Matt McMahon obviously has a rebuild on his hands, as we've seen. Every scholarship player from this past season has moved on, either to the NBA or to the transfer portal. And in starting to rebuild the LSU roster, Matt McMahon has started with some familiar names and familiar faces to him, and one of them is Justice Hill, the former Murray State guard, who is now LSU guard Justice Hill, who's good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes on the show. Justice, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. We appreciate you for taking a couple of minutes. First and foremost, are you in Baton Rouge yet?
No, sir. I have to finish up this semester in Murray, so I'm still up here finishing out school.
Got it. So you're at Murray, and then you'll be at LSU, I would presume, in the summer?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, so talk me through this decision that you had to make from the time you all lost in the tournament, and obviously Matt McMahon gets the LSU job. When did you make the decision that you were going to leave Murray?
Well, obviously it's a crazy process. Everything happened so fast. And so the news came out that coach was getting a new job and nobody was really together. So technically by the rules, I had to put my name in the portal. So once my name was in the portal, then they reached out and explained to me everything that was really going on, and everything else was really history from there.
So when the season came to an end, you didn't have any thought in mind that you'd be leaving Murray State?
No, sir, I did not.
So how did you find out that Matt McMahon was taking the LSU job?
Of course, it leaks out on the ESPN, Twitter apps and stuff. So we had got a few notifications, but like I said, at the time, we had already gotten back to Murray, and nobody was really together. So it was really more of a rumor thing. And then, of course, he had a Zoom meeting with the team and then told us really what was going on.
What was your reaction, man, whenever you learned that your coach was leaving?
It was a weird feeling. Everything happened within 2 days, and we had just came off a season-ending loss to a team that we feel like we should have beat. So it was definitely weird, but at the same time, I was definitely excited and happy for Coach and the other coaches that got to be brought along, and happy for them. So it was really a bittersweet moment.
Yeah, man, if you would elaborate a little bit, because we talked to some of the media that covers Murray, and it's not new. They've lost coaches there to Power 5 schools in the past, but overwhelmingly the reaction there has been more supportive and congratulatory to Matt McMahon instead of bitter that he's leaving the program. What makes up that sort of that mindset, that community?
I feel like Coach Mack just was a really genuine guy when he was here. He builds really deep and close relationships with people and the other people around him. He's definitely really helpful and active in the community. So I feel like when he left, it was more of a friend than it was just a coach that it was leaving the city, because we have so many connections around here throughout the Murray State community. So I feel like it was just more of a father figure and a friend leaving than it just was for a coach to be leaving, and I think that's what made it so hard.
Yeah. Justice Hill's with us. He's on Twitter at Juice Hill, but you're going to get to play for him down in Baton Rouge. So is Matt McMahon, am I oversimplifying it to say that you're just following your coach? I mean, that's why you picked LSU was because of Matt McMahon?
Obviously, of course, that's the main reason. I actually have passed with LSU before I went to junior college. I actually took a visit out there when Will Wade was there, but it was nothing too major. I just went out there to just see what was going on with the situation. And obviously, I committed to Arkansas coming out of high school, so the SEC is definitely something that I've been around before I was at Murray State. So, but overall, yeah, it's definitely just Coach Mack.
So, I mean, I was going to get there. So, and you played football in high school too, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, did you have football offers?
Yeah, I had a football offer from Memphis, Howard, and Auburn.
Yeah. So, did you consider trying to play both?
I kind of knew it would be a tough task to do in college, but I definitely was talked about a few different times.
Okay. All right. I was just curious because I was looking up your 247 profile and I saw that. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. Like to be able to be a recruited athlete in two sports. I mean, it happens. It's just not super common. So being an Arkansas guy, like how much flack you getting from family now that you're going to LSU?
I'm not really getting anything like that. I think all the people that are around me really support me and know that I'm doing, making decisions for what's best for me. So I think everybody around me is more really just happy than they are, cutting me slack with LSU.
For sure. All right, let's talk. I do want to talk a little bit deeper about Matt McMahon. Then I want to talk about your game as well. You did allude to why Matt McMahon meant so much to the Murray community, but what about you personally and as a player? What has Matt McMahon meant to you?
Coach Matt meant everything to me. I think for guys like me, it's really a bigger connection for me because I feel like with the coming in for COVID year, after the year that we had, you really could have just moved on. But I feel like that's the type of guy that Coach Mack is. Once he brings you here, he really trusts you and believes in you and pours all that he can into you to grow as a man and as a basketball player. And I just feel like that providing the fathering, nurturing personality he has with the coaching staff as well really just helped me to grow into the player that I became this year. So I feel like he has a huge role in the success that I had this last year.
For people that didn't get to watch Murray play a bunch, and honestly, I mean, I watched you guys play in the tournament, but I didn't really watch you play in the regular season. Stylistically, what can we expect from a Matt McMahon coach team?
Very up-tempo team, really fun to watch. I feel like he gives all of the players freedom to go out and make plays and really just give the crowd really the fun that they came to see. Of course, we have structure. We're going to run plays when it's time to run plays and break down defenses. But all in all, I feel like he's really going to let you go and just be able to max out and be the player that you are on the floor.
Are you you averaged double figures this year at Murray State? Are you a scoring guard? Is that going to be your role at LSU?
I definitely feel like I can score the ball when it needs to be scored. I definitely feel like I can also facilitate, though. Definitely look to get my teammates the ball when they need it, where they need it, just having the feel of the game. I feel like that's what makes a point guard good, knowing when to assist and knowing when to score. So I feel like you have to do a balance of both, but I can definitely score when the time presents itself.
One of your teammates, Trey Hannibal, who I think people around here know well because he started his career at South Carolina, went to Murray this past year. Now he's coming to LSU as well. What can you tell us about Trey?
Trey's really exciting to play with. I feel like Trey brings a lot of energy to the team. Definitely a guy that you can count on to play hard every night. Definitely going to play hard on the defensive end. Really explosive around the basket. I also getting downhill and getting other guys involved. So I feel like just another ball handler, attacker, downhill guy that really just brings excitement to the table as far as defense and explosives around the rim.
You know, I know there's a lot of guys from that Murray squad that are either entering the draft or the portal as well. I don't know even if you're comfortable talking about this, but you know, are there other guys there at Murray that are now in the portal that you're talking to that might end up following as well to Baton Rouge?
I don't think I really haven't talked to the coaches about anybody else outside of me and Trey. Obviously, following us to LSU, I really haven't gotten any word on that. So as far as I know, not as anybody that's in the portal right now.
I just got a couple of more for you. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware there's sanctions potentially looming at LSU. Was any of that a concern or a possible deterrent for you when you were considering LSU?
Obviously, you think about it, and you think about the possibility of it not happening, considering the whole entire staff roster is new. So, you know, anything could happen. But also just knowing the type of guys that you're going to be around was definitely a more comforting factor than going somewhere that doesn't have sanctions to where you don't know what you're going to get out of people. So, really didn't play too big of a factor in my decision.
Okay. What are you excited about in Baton Rouge? Anything down here?
Obviously, definitely just getting down there, getting to know, you know, around the city and things like that. Definitely just taking advantage of the facilities and campus life and everything that, you know, obviously a SEC Power 5 school has to offer. So just definitely looking forward to getting down there and just getting familiar with the area.
When you came on a visit, man, they didn't get you any good food? Most everybody always says food whenever they first talk about, you know, coming down to Louisiana.
All right, yeah, like I said, it wasn't really like an actual, like, sit-down visit. It was just kind of like a pop-up thing that just presented itself to us at the time. So it definitely was just something that we made happen. So I definitely didn't just get to go out there and eat, but I know the food down there, I heard, is really good, seafood and stuff like that. It's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, man, you're going to be well fed. Suffice to say, those 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. workouts might be a little more difficult after a night of eating etouffee and things like that. But, man, you will be well fed down these parts. Hey, man, congrats on your decision to join LSU. Best of luck to you this semester there at Murray. We're looking forward to seeing you in Baton Rouge real soon, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
It's our pleasure. That's Justice Hill. You'll follow him on Twitter. He's at Juice Hill on Twitter. You can follow him there on Instagram as well. So we appreciate Justice Hill. How about that? Said, look, I mean, I can certainly appreciate the candor. Right? I mean, saying that with respect to the sanctions, of course, you think about it. But it was interesting to hear him say, I mean, the entire coaching staff, the entire roster is gone, so maybe it won't happen, meaning sanctions. Now, you all know how I feel about it. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. It's hard to imagine, considering the precedent that was set at Oklahoma State, 3 years probation, 1 year postseason ban. It's hard to imagine LSU skirting sanctions here. But we'll see how it plays out. Nonetheless, clearly that's a huge attaboy to the head coach LSU hired. But that guy you just heard from is also going to be the guy expected to lead this team. I mean, he's going to be your starting point guard, and he might well be your leading scorer next year. A lot of work for Matt McMahon to do to build up this roster, but that's a pretty good start with that guy. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We're not going to break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Momma Scone in 32 minutes from right now. Yes, the Momma Scone Bracket Challenge has come to a completion. How did she do? How did I do? We'll find out in about 30 minutes from right now. Mike Triplett in Hour 3. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Tuesday edition of AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Don't you move.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery, especially on beautiful spring days. Now, I know today it's a little rainy this morning, but it's clearing up, and that means this evening when you get home, you want to get out in the yard, do some work, you can do it. At Clegg's Nursery, they have all the products that you need to help beautify that lawn, that garden, those flower beds for this time of year. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Yeah, they got full greenhouses. They have all the products you need. But remember, you also have a lot of like weeds and pests and things like that during the spring as everything comes back to life. You got that weed or clover in your lawn, they've got the weed-killing cocktail at Clegg's that can help you. ant hills popping up, no worries. They got ant killer and everything else you'd find at a True Value hardware store you will also find at Clegg's Nursery. Want to decorate your outdoor area with bird feeders or other garden decorations and decor? They've got you covered at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit Garcia Did My Roof.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I rolled along here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Kansas wins its 4th title in program history last night. Here's how it sounded in the frenetic finish.
Down on Manick, and here we go. Manick circling around. He slipped underneath. They go to Love. Love's going to be the one to take it. Puts up the shot. It's off. The game is over. And Kansas completes the biggest championship comeback.
So Kansas wins the national championship. Confetti falls on the Superdome floor. Streamers are everywhere. Jayhawk Nation is celebrating. The dais is rolled out onto the floor there at the Superdome, and Kansas players and coaches all adorn the stage, ready to accept their hardware. And doing the honors is the president of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, who did this.
Fan base has been extraordinary. We're so excited for you. And here to present the trophy is the head of the basketball committee, yourself and the Kansas City Jayhawks. University of Kansas Jayhawks.
The Kansas City Jayhawks. I wonder if maybe Dr. Emmert was just a bit flustered because he was having to hand the trophy to a coach facing 5 level 1 violations. I mean, the absolute absurdity of that entire scene of Mark Emmert handing the trophy to Bill Self, who is basically Will Wade. I mean, it's called what it is, all right? They're all the same. They all cheated their ass off. They were all caught on these FBI wiretaps, like their text messages with Bill Self talking about paying players and what it's going to take to get recruits. It's all there. It's all there. I mean, everyone's going to have their day eventually. Kansas is likely going to forfeit this title. Mark Emmert had to know that standing there on the stage. Maybe that's why he was just a bit flustered. Or maybe it's actually a more common mistake than any of us would care to think. I'll remind you that last week we were running promos leading up to the national championship game, and our very own voice guy kind of did the same thing.
When the Kansas City Jayhawks face the Villanova Wildcats.
Now, I have a question. So, BC, the voice guy, Brian, BC, who records all of our voice work, he's kind of like Ron Burgundy, right? If it's on the teleprompter, he's going to read it.
Yeah.
Anything. I mean, anything. So, did BC screw it up? Or did Cade screw it up in typing and sending the text to BC to read? That's the question.
That'd mean 3 different people have said the Kansas City Jayhawks.
Well, but I think the point is, I don't know, like maybe we're absolving BC because if it was on the copy, he may not be a basketball fan. Who knows? He's just reading what we send him to read, right? I mean, that's just how that works. Like, we send liners to BC. Cade will send line.
Oh, I just...
Cade will send liners to BC.
Well, what happened? Why'd you pause?
Because the chair.
What was your chair?
Well, it's upstairs. I'm going to go get it. Walked in, little out of my routine, been gone for a couple of days, right? So I forgot the chair. But that's going to be rectified shortly. That'll be rectified. Anyway, so that's what we need to get to the bottom of. Like, was it Cade writing Kansas City Jayhawks, or did BC just screw it up and say Kansas City Jay? Did he insert the city in Kansas City Jayhawks? And then there's Mark Emmert yesterday doing the exact same thing. Inexcusable for Mark Emmert, however. You're the president of the NCAA. It's a huge moment. I mean, now granted, that trophy is going to be revoked at some point. Like, Kansas is going to lose that title. The same way that Louisville lost their title. I mean, it's going to happen in time. But for this brief, weird moment anyway, Kansas is the national champion. And that's a forever moment, at least until the title's revoked. And Mark Emmert screwed it up. Stay hot, guy. Just another reason people hate you. All right, it's after further review from a compressed chair. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned. In Baton Rouge and online. At southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Need a vehicle? Make sure you check out Volkswagen. Put Volkswagen on your list. If you've never thought about driving a Volkswagen, go test drive one first. If you're buying a pre-owned vehicle, go shop your used lots. But make sure you check out the certified pre-owned lot at South Point as well. People go buy a Volkswagen. They trade in their old vehicle. Of course, all different makes and models, from sedans and trucks and SUVs. They've got them at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Momma Scone in 20 minutes. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
A consensus All-American Jabari Smith has declared for the NBA draft. Smith, widely projected as a top 3 pick in this summer's draft. He's in the running to be the number 1 overall selection. He averaged 16 and 7 this year for Auburn, helped the Tigers to the number one ranking in the AP poll for the first time in program history. Jabari Smith joins Walker Kessler as declaring for the NBA draft.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas wing Audice Toney. He has declared for the draft, and he will sign with an agent, so his Arkansas career is over. Averaged 10 points per game, shot 52% from the floor. Toney spent 3 years at Pitt in the ACC under Jeff Capel before transferring to Arkansas this year. And Arkansas, of course, back-to-back Elite Eights. Audice Toney off to the NBA.
The Texas A&M Aggies.
Texas A&M guard Marcus Williams has entered the transfer portal. Williams, one of several pickups for Buzz Williams during the offseason last year. He was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year at Wyoming. Pretty good year. And then he goes to A&M this year, starts 27 games for the Aggies as the starting point guard, average 8 points and 3 assists per game.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss landed their first transfer player of 2022. They got a commitment from Jackson State forward Javius McKinnis, 6'7", 225-pound senior. He's the reigning SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. He's from Brandon, Mississippi. He averaged 12 points and 10 boards per game for the Jackson State Tigers this year. Ole Miss, of course, 4-14 in the SEC. It was their worst season since 94-95 this past season under Kermit Davis.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And Alabama wideout Ajayi Hall was removed Tuesday from the team's online football roster. He's a rising sophomore. He quote tweeted the report and said, "News to me." He's not on the roster. Hall was a top 50 overall recruit in the class of 2021. Saw increased playing time as there were injuries to Alabama wide receivers this past year, John Mechie and Jamison Williams. Bama is 9 practices into spring drills, and it looks like, for the time being anyway, Ajayi Hall is no longer part of the team. Full slate of baseball games around the league tonight. Florida hosts Florida A&M, excuse me. Tennessee hosts Lipscomb, 12th-ranked Louisville. Sorry, Paulie. They're at Kentucky, 14th-ranked Georgia on the road against Clemson. Auburn travels to UAB. Mississippi State hosts Tennessee Martin. Vanderbilt hosts Austin Peay. Ranked matchup in-state with number 9 Ole Miss traveling to number 18 Southern Miss. Arkansas hosts Central Arkansas. Bama hosts Samford. Number 22 North Carolina will host South Carolina. Texas State on the road at Texas A&M. And LSU hosts Grambling. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get from our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Remember, they sell the Savin line. They're a national leader among Savin dealers, but they will service all different makes and models. So if you have issue with your office equipment, contact Gulf Coast Office Products. gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. A really great game last night with Kansas and North Carolina. Again, I'm sort of a little torn because you have these conflicting emotions where it was such a great game, and I'm trying to allow that to exist in its own reality. The flip side of it is, North Carolina is a program that got away scot-free after cheating their behinds off with an academic scandal, an enormous academic scandal. And Kansas is right there alongside LSU and Auburn and Arizona and Oklahoma State and the other programs involved in this FBI scandal. So, last night I did something I don't normally do, and I don't really like doing. I did tweet. I quote tweeted Pat Forty after the game, and I think everybody here understands what Pat Forty's role has been over the last 5 years or so in the Will Wade investigation. Everything he's basically been the NCAA's mouthpiece. When Pat Forty keeps breaking these stories, he's not getting anything from LSU. He's obviously getting it from somewhere in Indianapolis within the infractions committee. Someone is leaking that information to him from the NCAA, and he's happy to regurgitate it because he's got a vendetta. But the problem that I have is that LSU could never play a game without having mention of Will Wade and the infractions and the scandal and all that stuff. Yet last night there was nary a mention of it with Kansas. And that bothers me. And yes, Pat Forty did publish a column whenever when Kansas gave Bill Self a lifetime contract and effectively said Kansas is letting their intentions be known. But there's a big difference between criticizing a school in general and directly targeting a coach the way he did Will Wade, calling him a greasy grifter. I mean, that's the kind of thing that really bothers me. That's where your inherent bias, your colors are shining through when you take direct shots at a person that you don't even know. And I think if you are an LSU fan, that's probably what's bothered you the most. It's not to absolve Will Wade. It's not to say that LSU did nothing wrong. It's to say everybody was doing wrong, yet you are being uncharacteristically heavy-handed looking at this one program and this coach. And Pat Forty's a terrible example of that. And I don't like to ever criticize media. The profession is too small. It's too incestuous. You could always work with or alongside someone, so it's never a good idea ever to burn a bridge. But I feel like Pat's the one that lit that match a long time ago, and now we're all just shouting at him from the other side of the bridge. So there's no coming back from it on his end either. But it's a shame. He's a guy that I really respected for a long time. Enjoyed his writing. That's a hard one to come back from because it's so evident that he's allowed personal feelings and emotions to get involved with a story, and it's hard to defend. So, again, very, very conflicting night last night. It was a magnificent basketball game. It was a lot of fun to watch, but the cloud hovering over that is also undeniable, especially here. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Tiger at Augusta. Holy moly. Did you see the practice round yesterday? My goodness. Lot to get to. Momma Scone here in about 14 minutes from right now. Mike Triplett's going to talk some Saints with us in hour 3. Glad you're hanging out. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. Shop now at BayouFord.com. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for my...
Was able to play 27 holes that day, and at home testing it. But it's the recovery, how am I going to get all the swelling out and recover for the next day? And my team has been fantastic and worked very hard. So we've got another day of 9 more holes, and then come game time.
Tiger Woods looks like he's going to give it a go at the Masters. He'll tee off Thursday, at least as now. He's expecting to play. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service, and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Remember, if you're in Ascension Parish, Livingston Parish, the Denham Springs location is now open. Of course, Ascension has you have a Dutchtown location in Ascension, but Livingston Parish, the newest location, of course, is in Denham Springs of Shawbills. Find that location nearest you. Shop tires online, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. It is Shawbills where we keep you rolling. By the way, remember the Coursey location. Because Denham is pulling so many people to that new location, Coursey's lightened up a little bit, so you can get in there quicker and get in and out quicker than you normally could. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Dennis Dodd has a little breaking news. Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby is stepping down. So that means Greg Sankey now is the most senior commissioner in the Power 5. The other 4 commissioners of the Power 5 have all stepped down or been removed from their roles here since 2020. When we think about Larry Scott at the Pac-12 and Kevin Warren now in the Big Ten, it's kind of incredible to see all of the turnover there. John Swofford at the ACC. So Greg Sankey, senior Power 5 commissioner. We'll see who replaces Bob Bowlesby in the Big 12. Momma Scone, next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Our friends at Michelli celebrating 75 years in business. So cool to follow them on social media and to see all the stories and the nostalgic photos of how that business has grown over the last 75 years. It's just absolutely incredible. Even just from 1980 to 1984, they posted this graphic earlier today, how they just expanded across Louisiana, but now sea to shining sea with 11 different states, 29 calibration labs. And what Michelli offers is a face-to-face customer service experience. Why package up your devices, your tools, and ship them to a calibration lab in another city or state? How about be more cost-effective and more efficient? Let's call Michelli. They'll come scoop up your devices, take it to the calibration lab, calibrate it, bring it back. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Check them out online at Michelli.com.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit dreams come true. And this year, we need your help more than ever.
We've interviewed these incredible kids, and each and every one of their stories brings tears to our eyes.
To have a dream granted means more to these families than you'll ever know.
And it wouldn't be possible without your help.
Dreams Come True has been hit hard by the events of the past year.
So we ask for your support in helping this incredible cause.
Our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi.
Well, as of right now, I feel like I am going to play. As of right now.
Tiger Woods today announcing his plans to play at this week's Masters. Before making a decision, he'll play 9 more practice holes tomorrow with the intention of playing. Woods said he thinks he can win at Augusta this week. Has no qualms about what he can do physically. The walking is the difficult part. The Masters would mark Tiger's first official event on the PGA Tour since suffering serious injuries in a February 2021 car accident. Tiger's tee time is 10:34 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. Defending champ Hideki Matsuyama still dealing with a neck issue, but hopes to be ready to play by Thursday's first round at Augusta National. Auburn freshman Jabari Smith entering the NBA draft, projected as a potential #1 overall pick. Smith, a consensus All-American, named SEC Freshman of the Year. Lakers star LeBron James with that ankle sprain out again tonight against the Suns. LA's two-back of San Antonio for the final play-in spot in the Western Conference. NFL, no decision yet from free agent tight end Rob Gronkowski on his future. Told TMZ Sports right now he's not ready to commit to the game of football, isn't ready to get on the football field.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
It was one of those games, like where you're emotionally fatigued from like the back and forth. It was like a heavyweight fight. That's what it was like.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
As of right now, I feel like I am going to play.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I am sweating.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 1 hour from right now, Mike Triplett's going to join us, ESPN.com. Saints have been pretty active in the past couple of days. They've signed a safety. They've signed a defensive end. They've made a significant first-round trade. So we will Tyrann Mathieu's visiting today. We'll unpack all of that in 1 hour with Mike Triplett. I do have some thoughts on the Saints signing Taco Charlton and releasing Blake Bortles. We'll get to that in about 15 minutes from right now. But right now, it is our distinct pleasure to welcome back to the show the one and only, a fan favorite, someone who every year, this time, people look forward to hearing from. The one and only Momma Scone. Momma Scone, how are you?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing magnificent, especially since I crushed you in this year's bracket challenge.
No, you didn't crush me.
Crushed you.
No, not that. It's not that bad.
Do you remember the Mighty Ducks?
Yes.
Remember we used to watch that all the
movie.
time? Yeah. Well, there's a scene. You remember the bad guy coach of the Hawks?
Yes.
Sort of, not really. No.
Yeah, because winning was everything for him.
Yeah, and remember what he used to
that's
say?
What you are?
Remember what he used to say? It's not worth winning if you can't win big. He wanted him to run up the score in Pee Wee hockey, Mama. That's what he wanted him to do. That's what I did to you. I ran up the score on you, Mama Scone.
No, you
ran
did
up
not.
the score.
No, sorry, not that big.
When we look at the leaderboard there, among the, I guess, the VIP pickers, it would be like our staff, I guess. Richard Condon ended up taking the crown there with 212 points. He had Kansas winning the Natty. So Kansas.
Wow.
It's always, if you end
and that's
up,
who won?
Yes. You didn't watch the game last night?
No. No.
Do you know who Kansas played?
Wait, I heard him talk. North Carolina?
Yes. Good job, Mom. Thank
I
you,
heard somebody
Kansas.
talking
Can we get a
about
bell for Mom? Anything positive here? That would be great. Good job, Mom. Yes, Kansas did beat North Carolina. By the way, do you know who Kansas's coach is?
No.
Do you know North Carolina's coach is?
No.
Do you know who LSU's coach is?
Well, they have a temporary coach right now, right? Or did they hire somebody new?
Yes, they hired somebody new, Mom.
Oh, well, I don't know who
they
it
did
is
that
then.
several weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Willie's got a great first name. I would argue the best first name that anyone could possibly have.
Matt?
It is, yes. It's Matt.
Matthew?
Can we get a bell, please, for Mama Scone? Come on, Muso. We need some positive, some affirmation here for Mama Scone. His name is Matt McMahon. He's the new coach at LSU.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
cool.
they hired him from Murray State. You know Murray State, don't you?
Oh, sure.
You know what state they're in?
No. No, I don't.
No, they're in Kentucky. Murray, Kentucky is where they're from. So, yes, they
Okay.
hired Matt
Good
McMahon
to
from
know.
Murray State. Yeah, no, absolutely. So
I'm going to file that, in my little brain there. And I can remember if they, would they have a chance in the bracket challenge thing?
They did. They won a game. They did win a game in this year's tournament. Lost in the second round. But, yeah, so I finished with 124 points. So Condon led the way among the staff pickers there.
But he crushed you.
Well, so yes, I guess you could say that the way that it finished. So Condon finished with 212. Scott Robb from Eagle 98.1 had 130 points, and then I was next at 124. Of course, the whole if adage, everything, all that stuff. But I had Duke winning the national championship. So had Duke held on against Carolina, I'd be curious if they had just beaten Carolina, what my score would have been. I certainly would have finished second. I might have actually leapfrogged Condon. Condon won because obviously Kansas went on to win, but great pick by him. So, Mama Scone.
I won.
Yes.
My score was 100, so it wasn't too bad. I
crushed you. I crushed you.
No.
Yes.
51%.
That's 3 touchdowns plus the 2-point conversions. I blew you out.
Hush. 51% of my picks were correct, so I did a little better than half. Right?
Yeah, sure, Mom. Whatever you say.
And
that's great.
what were your correct? What was percentage of your correct?
I'm not even going to lie to you. I have no idea how to check that.
Oh.
I have no.
Well, it's on. If you look at your statistics, that's what I went to.
I'm looking at the bracket right now. I don't even know where my stats would be on here. It just says picks from Moscona. It's my bracket.
And there's a little thing on the right. See, I know more than you.
No, I'm looking at my bracket, and it just says print bracket and how to play.
No. Okay.
We're probably looking at different things because mine is, I hate to say it this way, but mine's like on the VIP list. I'm probably just looking at something different than you are.
Okay.
No, that's what they call it. Like all of the staff, they call them VIP
call.
pickers. I didn't make it up. You think I made up this nonsense? Anyway,
No.
but it says VIP pickers. It's a welcome back Moscona. Look, it says it right there. Paul, pull that up just so people know. It says VIP pickers. And it's, you know who's not on there?
Me.
Muso.
Oh.
Paul's on there. Muso, not important. Not very important. Well, I don't know. I don't know why Muso's not on there. I guess he's just not important. Paul is.
I forgot to do it.
He says he forgot. I think, you know what I think happened?
Oh.
I think he tucked his tail. He ran in fear
So
of
I
you,
did
Mama
better than
Scone. That's
him.
what he did. See, you did.
by default.
You did better than Matt Musso did. You absolutely did better. So what did we learn about this year's bracket challenge, Mom?
That you beat me again.
And if you recall, when you were here at the start of the tournament, we decided this year to allow the audience to make suggestions of what the bet would be.
Yeah, and you never did tell me anything.
Well, we did declare on air because we made a poll question of the day what it should be. Okay. And ultimately what the winning vote was that if you won, I would have to do the show dressed as Mama Scone. I'd have to wear a Ronald McDonald hair wig, some old lady glasses, probably your big heavy sweater that you've had since 1984. I'd probably dress like that. And you would have to basically be me for a day. So we're going to have to get you a bald cap. We're going to have to get you a beard, a polo shirt and some jeans, some nice dress shoes like I wear every day, something along those lines. And you're going to go to the church office there in Most Blessed Sacrament for the day dressed as me. And we're going to have to put this on social media, though. And this is going to have to go out there so people can see that you did actually pay up because, Mom, people have learned this about me over the years. And I think you know this about me because you've known me literally since the moment I was born.
Correct. What have they learned about you?
If there is a debt to be paid, you pay your debt.
Yes.
There is no skirting. You don't make a bet and then you weasel out when you lose. Like Dwayne from Thibodeau, who still owes me $500, and if I ever see that chump, I'm going to beat it out of him.
Hey, Dwayne from Thibodeau, pay up.
Yeah, good luck with that. That jackass. That jackass called me every single week during the season, making that bet. And he loses, and you don't hear from him for 3 years. Coward. Freaking coward. If I ever see that guy, I'll pimp slap him in his face. I get a little angry sometimes.
Be nice.
No, I'm not going to be nice about it. I'm not. Because cowards deserve to be called what they are, and it's a coward. That's what Dwayne from Thibodeau is. Mom, you're not a coward. I know that much. So you're going to dress up like me for a day.
I will.
And you know what else you have to do?
What's that?
You're going to have to be me for a day. So you have to behave like me, too.
Oh, Lord. I might get fired.
You're going to get fired at MBS? Are you going to get fired at the church? Huh?
Yeah.
Mom's the church lady. You're like Dana Carvey from the SNL skit.
Maybe I'll do it on a Friday because it's only half day.
That sounds like, hey, look. No judgment here.
Because then I have to go pick up Drew. And
you do have to go pick up Drew. You should go pick up Drew at St. Lillian on Friday, dressed like me. That would actually be great. Bald cap, beard. So here's my question, though. Are we going to, draw a beard on you, or are we just going to get, one of those fake beards, sticks on?
I don't know. What would you draw it on with?
A marker. Permanent marker. Sharpie.
No, it might never come off.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
I know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. When do I have to do this? How soon?
Friday. A week. This coming Friday.
I'm not doing Friday.
Why not?
Because I'm not picking up your son from St. Louis.
Well, you could just take the bald cap off, Mom, and take the beard off. It ain't no big deal when you leave.
Be all smushed.
Mom, it doesn't matter. You got old lady hair anyway. God bless. I love you to pieces, but I mean, you got like a little puffy old. It's just a little puffy old lady hair. I mean, it just doesn't matter. I mean, who are you trying to impress here?
I don't want. They may not give them to me.
They'll give them to you. Just explain why your hair is smushed instead of puffy, and I think they'll be okay with it. You know what? All this on this day in particular, too.
Yes, I know.
I know. All of this on this day in particular. I need to disclose something that today, April 5th, 2022, this is Mama Scone's 65th birthday. How about that?
I'm old, officially.
Yep. You're officially old, Mom. 65. Yep. You qualify for Medicare.
I had to sign up.
Before the federal government went and screwed up the whole Social Security thing, you could have started drawing on that already.
I know.
But
nope, I have to be 66 in 6 months to do that.
It is your birthday, and
yeah.
I love you, and I'm wishing you all the happiest wishes on your birthday that you could possibly wish anyone. I hope that all of your hopes and dreams on this day come true. I hope that everybody that you come across on this day, they are uplifting and positive to you, and make you feel as special as you are for dealing with me for so many years, and your less talented children, Brian and Alicia, but we love them too, even though they're not me. We still love them.
Right.
They try hard. Let's put it that way. They're not me, but they try.
That's true.
But it is your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I love you. And I crushed you in the bracket challenge again. That's right.
You did not.
Domination. Domination is what happened again. You just keep coming back, Mama Scone. Come on back next year, and you know what's going to happen again next year. Domination, brother. Oh,
no, I'm going to beat you next year.
No, you're not going to beat me, Mom.
Yes, I am.
I will not. I refuse to allow it. You know how competitive I am, and I will just absolutely not take any chances. I will go all chalk, just pick every favorite all the way along, and I'll end up winning something.
That's not good, though, because look at the Cinderella team.
Yeah, but yes, you're right. So, yes, you should just keep doing it your way. Pick St. Mary's to win the national championship again next year, Mom. I'm sure that's going to work out great for you. Okay, we got to go. I love you. Happy birthday, Mom. Thanks for having some fun. Remember, you were dressing up like me on Friday.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Love you.
All right, I love you, too. That's Mama Scone on her birthday, taking grief from me. But then again, that's been every day of my life. So why should today be any different? All right, it's after further review. Don't you move.
AFR.
Our Tuesday shows are brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net. lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. Title sponsor of our Tuesday shows. You have time still to call today. Give them a buzz. Let them see if they can shop independently for free to find you better coverage for less money. I want to tell y'all straight up. If you have Liberty Mutual, and you've had Liberty Mutual for more than 2 or 3 years without shopping, you are probably overpaying. They're the worst. They're the classic offender. They get you in really cheap, and then they jack rates, but you got that auto draft, and I hope you never notice. You have got to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them see if they can get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450. Call today. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. Let them go shop for you. There's no catch. There is no catch. If they can't save you money or get you better coverage, stick with what you got. It's that easy. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Mike Triplett will be with us to start hour number 3. Remember, you can always text the show on the 225-396-4400. 396-4400, 396-4400. Michael Adams suggested we draw Mama Scone's beard with mascara. Don't know that we'll go that direction. We'll probably just buy like the little stick-on beard. I need someone to help me though where we can get those props. Where can I get a bald cap prop? Where can I get a stick-on beard? If I have any friends that are in the movie industry that know how to do props and stuff like that or costumes, that would be very helpful. But Mama Scone, got to dress her up as Maddie Scone for a day. That's her debt that she owes for losing this year's bracket challenge. Okay, it's after further review. Saints all of a sudden got pretty active, as many of you were bemoaning the fact that the Saints hadn't done much and had been pretty passive in free agency after signing Marcus May and watching Tyrann Armstead walk out the door and Marcus Williams, although I think we understand why, financial considerations there, and just what value you put on a player. Yes, they went hard after Deshaun Watson, and it didn't work out that way. They re-signed Jameis Winston, but after that, it had been quiet. People have been wondering why the Saints haven't signed receivers or a left tackle or maybe more help at safety, as we've all sort of wanted, that Tyrann Mathieu dream to become a reality. And in about a 24-hour period, the Saints got really, really active. They consummated the trade we discussed at length yesterday with the Eagles that now have the Saints with 3 picks in the top 50 in this year's draft, including 2 first-round picks, number 16 and number 19. Tyrann Mathieu was at the Saints facility earlier today on a Tuesday, and the Saints have gotten a bit more active. So Blake Bortles has been released by the New Orleans Saints. So Bortles, you might remember, late in the season last year, was signed as a backup to be sort of a veteran presence for Ian Book when Book was starting for the Saints against Miami. COVID kind of ravaged the roster, and so they had Ian Book and no other quarterbacks, and so they signed Bortles to be the backup. Well, Bortles was under contract on a veteran minimum salary this year for 2022, and when the Saints went and signed Andy Dalton to a nice backup deal, $3 million, could be valued at $6 million. It basically meant Bortles had no shot of being a backup quarterback with the Saints because Andy Dalton's going to fill that role. So he asked for his release, and the Saints have granted him his release. So Blake Bortles no longer in New Orleans. He'll look for a landing spot where he could potentially be the number 2 to back up a starter. Denver would make sense. Their first-year head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, worked with Bortles in Jacksonville where he was the OC. So there's a tie there. Although we said the same thing as Hackett worked in Green Bay and thought maybe that might be a very obvious tie for Aaron Rodgers to end up in Denver. It didn't work out that way. But so Blake Bortles, he'll move on. That certainly clears the way for Andy Dalton solely as the backup with the Saints. Ian Book's going to be interesting this year to see what happens there, what his future is with this organization, if he has a future with this organization. Maybe of greater consequence, though, than releasing Blake Bortles, because that's something I guess we all anticipated was going to happen anyway at some point. You aren't going to carry 4 quarterbacks this year. Is the Saints signing Taco Charlton? So, quick catch-up. You probably at least have heard the name. Guy's name's Taco. I mean, he played at a very prominent school. He played at Michigan. He was a big, long defensive end at Michigan. So he had the catchy name, was a good player at Michigan, became a first-round draft pick. He was taken 28 overall by Dallas back in the 2017 draft. So 2017 was the giant draft for the Saints where obviously they drafted Lattimore and Ramczyk in round 1, and they got Marcus Williams in round 2, and Kamara and Anzalone and Hendrickson. I mean, it was that great draft. Charlton was the 28th pick of that draft. Struggled in Dallas, never really emerged, and then has bounced around after starting his career with the Cowboys and has spent each of the last 3 years with a different team. The Dolphins in 2019, the Chiefs in 2020, then last year with the Steelers. So now this will be Taco Charlton's 4th different team in as many seasons. So he was released in after 2 seasons in Dallas. In the beginning of his 3rd season in 2019, he was released and then landed with the Dolphins. So really only 2 full seasons with the team that took him in round 1. You know it ain't work out if a team used a first-round draft pick on you and after 2 years, they're cutting bait. Like, they didn't even give you enough rope to try to make it work. But he's a guy that's played a good bit of football. He's played in 55 career games, played in all 16 games as a rookie, then 11 games with Dallas in 2018, 10 games with Miami in 2019, 7 games with Kansas City in 2020, and then last year played in 11 games with Pittsburgh, managed just a half a sack, 18 tackles. Not a great year for Taco Charlton last year in Pittsburgh. And so now it's why he's on his 4th team in as many years. I don't want to oversell this. I don't want... I'll give you an example of when something like this worked really well. When the Saints signed Nick Fairley, he was a first-round draft pick, was so dominant at Auburn. But he went to Detroit, and he was alongside Ndamukong Suh, and he kind of got a little overshadowed, and he had some injury issues, and he went to the Rams, and then you're right there on that line with Michael Brockers and Aaron Donald, and he got lost in the shuffle. And he needed an opportunity for someone to say, hey, the thing you do really well is you blow up plays from the interior. Go do that. Don't worry about winning the job. Just go be that guy. And the Saints gave him that opportunity, and Nick Fairley ended up being really good for the Saints. Now, his career unfortunately ended, we all know, because he had the heart condition, which prematurely ended his playing career. But that's one of those instances where a guy that the league had kind of given up on found it because he went to the right place and knew how to use him. I don't know if that's what's going to happen here with Taco Charlton, but I'm hopeful that it could. Because sometimes it takes that journeyman finding the right spot where he's the piece that fits perfectly into that specific puzzle. Great players make teams adapt to them and their skill set, no matter what that team does. Like Von Miller in Denver, Von Miller with the Rams, what Von Miller is going to be in Buffalo. Like, Von Miller is a great player, has been his entire career, and no matter where he goes, it's going to work because he's a great player, and that defense is going to adapt to him because he's great. Taco Charlton isn't that. He hasn't worked out. But maybe in the right spot for a guy that's 6'6", 270 and has a certain skill set, maybe as a rotational piece can bring value. The Saints know Cam Jordan is at one defensive end. And when Marcus Davenport is healthy, he's been a dominant guy on the other side. The problem is keeping him healthy. Now, we all hope that he stays healthy this year. It'd be awesome if he did. But the other thing that we have seen Dennis Allen and Ryan Nielsen do is use odd fronts to get your best guys on the field. And sometimes that means taking a defensive end and sliding him in to play tackle so you get 3 or 4 edge rushers on the field or pass rushers all on the field at once. That was one of the reasons I liked the Peyton Turner draft pick last year. Now, Peyton Turner was injured, and we'll see, but he's a guy that could play end. I mean, Peyton Turner, after he was drafted, came on the show and said as much. He can play 3 technique. He can slide inside and play tackle. He's versatile enough to do both. So there could be scenarios where you have Cam Jordan at end, you have Davenport and Turner on the interior, and then you could have Tano Passanio or Taco Charlton or Carl Granderson on the edge. Guys that are more versatile. Look, Granderson's a guy who the last 2 years has really been a productive football player. He started to come into his own. And Granderson was a much better run defender last year. He really started to develop as a run defender in 2021. So you take a guy like Taco Charlton, who's 6'6", 270, maybe it's something as simple as saying, do what Tano Passanio does really well, which is get your hands in the air and block passes. Intercept or interfere in passing lanes, interrupt passing lanes. You're 6'6", 270. Get your hands up. Maybe that can be Taco Charlton's role as a rotational player on the team. Now, he's got to make the team. Don't misunderstand me. But when you look at a guy that is physically gifted enough to be a first-round pick, there's something there that if you can tap into the right skill set in the right scheme, you can find value. I'm not going to oversell this and tell you I think he's a 50-tackle, double-digit sack guy, because I don't think that's a reality. He is what he is as an NFL player right now. He's a journeyman. He's a rotational player. But you look for value, which the Saints have managed to find over the years in guys like this. They found it with Tano Passanio last year, but he just had an injury issue. I mean, that was a recurring theme last year with the entire Saints roster. I like this. I like to see if this can be another guy that you work in on a defensive line that didn't have great depth a year ago, and now you have a veteran player who's got some physical ability to see if you can maybe maximize that in this defense this year. So, Taco Charlton, got to earn a roster spot, but I think he's at least an interesting prospect on this Saints team as they head into 2022, into the offseason workouts, and then into training camp to see if he's a guy that can maybe win a roster spot and find a sort of rebirth of sorts of his NFL career. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. We're going to knock out a quick break, come back. LSU baseball plays tonight. They're 2 hours away from first pitch. I do want to get into some of what Jay Johnson had to say on his coach's show last night, including who he's going to start in the game tonight against Grambling and what that might mean for the weekend. So we'll delve into that when we come back, and we'll talk some more Saints with Mike Triplett about 30 minutes from right now. Something we didn't get to do yesterday that I'm going to do in hour 3 is we're going to revisit a lot of what Brian Kelly had to say after Saturday's scrimmage. So we did recap the scrimmage yesterday on the show, but because the Saints trade happened and it was Championship Monday and everything, we didn't get to go too deep into that. So we're going to do that today, coming up in about 45 minutes from right now. So glad you're with us. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
I love telling you about the Baton Rouge General Hospital and all of the different services that they offer, including their express care locations, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Of course, the Baton Rouge General is a highly recognized medical facility with their Bluebonnet campus, their Mid-City location, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. If you need emergency care or any type of surgery, they do all of it at the Baton Rouge General. But remember their express care locations. Sometimes you need urgent care 7 days a week. That's just walk in. That's the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. You can find the locations near you, or you can even check in online at brgeneral.org. You'll see right there on the homepage where you can check in online for the Baton Rouge General Urgent Care locations. So whatever it may be that's ailing you, if it's allergies or animal bites, if you've got cough, cold, COVID, they do all of that. They even have x-ray machines and an EKG in all of their express care locations. Walk in 7-day-a-week urgent care. It's the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations, brgeneral.org.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, look what I found! The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Ultimate Bracket Challenge presented by Acura of Baton Rouge and Coors Light. Congratulations to our winners. First place, Jonathan Bryant from Metairie, Louisiana wins $2,022 cash in Coors Light swag. Second place goes to Amanda Lassane, St. James, Louisiana, 75-inch TV and sound bar and Coors Light swag. Third place, the 2-night stay at the Beau Rivage in Lake Charles and Coors Light swag. That goes to Brett Riley of Baton Rouge. And the last place winner, $100 gift card to Twin Peaks, Kipper Montgomery, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
You said Beau Rivage in Lake Charles.
That's what it has right here.
Yeah, the Beau Rivage is in Biloxi.
Well, man, Ron Burgundy, right? Have you put on there? I think we kind of got our answer from earlier in the show with the Kansas City Jayhawks thing. Was it Cade or voice guy?
Clearly that's a Cade snafu there, but I want to make sure that it is the Beau Rivage.
Beau Rivage.
No, I understand that, but there's also L'Auberge in Lake Charles. So I want to make sure that it's the right prize. So could you please confirm? Okay. But to whoever that is that won, congrats. You're
Brett
going somewhere.
Riley. Brett Riley.
Brett, you're going somewhere. We know that.
For 2 nights.
For 2 nights, for free.
And you get Coors Light swag.
We're just not sure where you're going. I think it's the Beau Rivage in Biloxi.
That's normally what it is with this, but I can double check.
It's better to be safe than to tell someone they're going to the wrong place. But, Brett, what I can confidently say is you are not going to the Beau Rivage in Lake Charles because said place does not exist. And that would be a pretty sick joke. So we're going to check on that for you, though, gladly. We also know that Jacob Berry and Dylan Cruz have been named to the midseason watch list for the Golden Spikes Award. Of course, the Golden Spikes Award is given annually to the top amateur baseball player in the USA. LSU's lone Golden Spikes winner, of course, is Ben McDonald back in 1989. Look, Dylan Cruz hitting 342 on the season. Jacob Berry, he was a Golden Spikes semifinalist last year. Barry's hitting 354. He's swinging a big stick, but I think we all understand also the issues defensively that have followed. But Jacob Berry's not here to play defense. He's here to hit the baseball, and he's done a pretty good job of it so far, even though a lot of the conversation is centered around defense, which is something Jay Johnson was asked about on his coach's show last night. Of course, every Monday, Jay Johnson's show on Eagle 98.1 from over at TJ Ribs. He was asked, at this point, what else do you do about the defense?
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff. I mean, from switching personnel and moving guys' positions, which we're actually looking at doing more of that again this week. We may use tomorrow to kind of test run something as far as, putting defensive guys in, using some of our guys to pinch hit, run the next guy in there. But the bottom line is we have to catch and control the baseball better. We took a pretty extreme measure on Friday, and we completely deadened and watered home plate so that when the ball hits, it doesn't take off, that it stays down. Most of our runs are being scored on walks, doubles, and home runs, and the ground ball thing hasn't really been a big part of our offense. So it actually worked until the 8th inning, and we made our first error in the 8th inning, and I thought that dramatically made the infield play different. So in terms of practice and preparation, we have spent as much time on defensive fundamentals as we ever have, and we're going to continue to do that. So be it personnel, be it drill, be it training, be it, live reps off the bat and batting practice, or eventually recruiting, we'll make sure we get that short up. Guys are trying hard, and I think Jordan and Cade would be the first to tell you that they're better players than they played, but we're going to keep running them out there and keep working with them on a daily basis to improve.
You have to keep playing both of them because you need them in the lineup. I'm interested to see what lineup they go with today, because he did mention, you heard him say, we're tinkering with something that could be defensive, and then you could have a pinch hitter at some point, then you run someone else in there, or you put someone in to run and then pinch hit. There's options that are very active. They're unconventional, but that may just be where you are. And I do believe that both Cade Doughty and Jordan Thompson can play better than they have. They've played better in their LSU careers than they are playing right now. So it's not just a finger point at those two guys. Listen, we talked about it. Trey Morgan made the biggest gaffe of the game on Thursday. There's a ground ball to the right side. Blake Money is going to get out of that inning in the 6th or the 5th, and in the 6th, 5th. It was the 5th. It was a 6-run 5th. And it's a ground ball to the right side, and Trey Morgan tries to pick it instead of getting in front of it. That's inexcusable. He knows better. And I'm not criticizing Trey Morgan. Trey Morgan's a great player. It's just a fact. All these guys can play better than they are. But if you want to go defensive lineup, what do? You want to put Cranford in at short? You can do that. You can put Collier Cranford in at short. Are you just taking Jordan Thompson out of the game? Are you taking Cade Doughty out of the game? Probably not. So you move Doughty back to second and take Jordan Thompson out of the game, but does that cure the defensive woes that Doughty have? Are you really going to take Cade Doughty's bat out of the lineup? Of course you're not. I mean, you kind of have to pick. You want to DH Jacob Berry? Fine. Do you want to take Braden Jobear's bat out of the lineup? I don't. Then you put Jobear in right. Well, then you're decidedly less talented in right with Gio out and Jobear in right field. You have the same problem you had with Jacob Berry in right field early in the season. That's the point, is you don't have this no doubt solution. You're going to pitch unconventionally. You're not great defensively. The thing you do elite is you hit the baseball. So you're going to have to be as tight defensively as you can be. You're going to have to be creative with the way you handle your pitching, and you're going to have to hit the baseball to win. And they can do it. I don't think it's going to be a team that wins a championship this year, obviously, but keep saying this, man. A year ago, LSU was 1-8 in the conference through 3 weeks. They were 1-8 through 3 weeks. And they ended up 13-17 and were 2 wins away from Omaha. This team's 4-5. Outside of Arkansas, it's a logjam behind Arkansas, who's at 7-2. You had a great opportunity this weekend going to Starkville. See if you can go win 2. Jay Johnson also talked about they might try some stuff with pitching. He did talk tonight against Grambling. He did lay out the pitching plan there, which includes a new starter.
Yeah, no, Grant Taylor is going to start tomorrow. He had a great outing at Florida last Sunday, throwing the last 5 1/3 and 83 pitches. I think he's one of our better guys. We needed to get him in the game on Friday. It was only 4 days rest from that 83 pitches. I was a little bit concerned about that, but his stuff was good. He was up to 96 miles an hour. It only being that we only used him an inning and a third, and being that the series was a day earlier, it allows us to let him go 2 or 3 innings. I do think he's going to be a starter here at some point, so it gives us an opportunity to get him a rep, but we'll use him in the capacity that he'll be available for the weekend as well. So hopefully 2, maybe 3 innings if he's efficient with his pitch count. So I'm looking forward to that. If we need to, we'll use our better guys. They got an extra day off in between the midweek game this week, and we have an extra day before the series starts relative to the last couple weeks for us. So I like that how this game falls, and if we can get some guys in there, we do need to get a look at a couple other guys. So if we can score some runs, which would be great, you may see a couple guys that haven't got a whole lot of time yet.
He's basically saying, like, we're going to run a lot of different arms out there. So I think they're anticipating scoring a lot of runs. But let's hope it works out that way. But the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. So I will be interested to see what lineup they run out there. He alluded to some potential defensive replacements, so we'll see how they handle it. He also talked about the pitching plan against Mississippi State.
I think the key is, and the reason we don't have a decision this week will make a lot of sense, is the 2 weeks after this, we're back to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one because of Easter week and one because of TV again that weekend against Missouri. So what we do this week, we're kind of forced into it for the next 2 weeks because the series move up to Thursday to Saturday. So we're not going to rush into a decision this week because it's going to affect the next 3 weekends.
All right. Go get a win tonight. Try to play better against Mississippi State. State's a struggling team as well. I mean, they lost their ace. You have a chance to go steal a series on the road. Go do it. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Muso will have Tigers in the pros. Mike Triplett in 15 minutes from right now. We're glad you're here with us. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Tuesdays are a great night to get by Pluckers, either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash. LSU baseball tonight. If you're getting to the box, run by the Pluckers on Nicholson. It's just south of the box on Nicholson. Go grab a bite to eat before you head over to the box. Maybe head there right now. Grab a bite to eat before you go to the box. Or if you're going to the game, you can go to eat at Pluckers after the game because they're open till midnight or later every night of the week. Nicholson, Bluebonnet. Dining, carry-out, delivery. Tuesday night, kids eat free. There's a lot going on. Tuesday night, kids eat free. Tuesday night at Nicholson also, Hunt Palmer hosts sports trivia. So make a night of it. Get them by Pluckers. LSU baseball starts at 6:30. Hunt will fire up sports trivia at 8:30. 5 rounds, live action trivia. Win Pluckers gift cards. Get a team together no matter how many people you want on your team. Have some fun. Pels play tonight as well. So go make a night of it. Watch LSU baseball. Watch the Pelicans. Eat some wings, drink some beer, play some sports trivia at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit dreams come true. And this year, we need your help more than ever.
We've interviewed these incredible kids, and each and every one of their stories brings tears to our eyes.
To have a dream granted means more to these families than you'll ever know.
And it wouldn't be possible without your help.
Dreams Come True has been hit hard by the events of the past year.
So we ask for your support in helping this incredible cause.
Our Dreams Come True Radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Mike Triplett in 11 minutes from right now. We will cover all of the Saints free agency draft stuff that's happened in the last 24 hours. You will not want to miss that right now. Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Big news in the NFL surrounding former LSU Tigers is that of Tyrann Mathieu visiting the New Orleans Saints today. All reports out of that visit are that no deal is imminent as of yet. But
huge news.
The Saints should sign Tyrann Mathieu. That should happen.
Be interesting if people agreed with you.
You know how we can find that out?
How could we find that out?
You can go to 1045 ESPN Twitter page, and you can vote in today's Citizens Bank poll of the day.
Oh!
Which is, will the New Orleans Saints sign Tyrann Mathieu?
How convenient.
How about that?
Oh!
Get over there and vote, people. And you know the answer.
Oh!
NBA action tonight. Full slate of NBA games, 12 of them, which means you might see a lot of former Tigers. Then again, you might not. There's some injuries to get to here as well. The Brooklyn Nets, they host the Houston Rockets. Cam Thomas will be on the floor while Ben Simmons remains out. The Atlanta Hawks, they're up in Canada visiting the Toronto Raptors. Skylar Mays made his return a couple nights ago from injury, so he's out there on the floor. Of course, you know Naz Reid will be out there dribbling, shooting, scoring, blocking shots for the Timberwolves tonight when they host the Wizards. And then the Portland Trailblazers, they will be without Trendon Watford. He remains out. An MRI revealed a bone contusion in his left femur.
Oh, so he's got a bruise.
He's got a femur.
No, in this instance, it just underscores what the Portland Trailblazers are. They're holding out Trendon Watford because he has a bruise. That's what you just said. I mean, I know you're reading their report, but
yeah, ultimately.
He's got a bruise.
They're fielding a G League team, basically, is what they're doing.
Is that a bruise? Out.
Who is Drew Eubanks?
It's funny you ask.
Oh, God, no. No, I didn't ask. No one asked you. No, moving on. Spring training baseball.
You did very clearly ask.
No, I take it back. He plays for the Trailblazers. He had a cup of coffee somewhere else in the league. That's Drew Eubanks. He's trying to earn a roster spot. Moving on.
Do you know where Drew Eubanks is from?
Why did I do this? No, Matt.
You know who would be quite apt to answer this question?
Nobody in this room. Literally nobody in this room.
You're right. But you know who is? our dear friend Ribs Huey, because Drew Eubanks is from Starkville, Mississippi.
Is he really?
He is, and went to Oregon State.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You know how I knew that?
You just looked it up on the laptop in front of you.
No.
Yes, you did.
Because
No.
Drew Eubanks and I been dear friends for many, many years.
No.
Yes.
Never.
He's actually called me a mentor.
For what? For what?
Life, Musa.
No.
Life.
No.
There's a lot of people who seek my counsel, Musa.
God, why did I do this? You don't know Drew Eubanks.
You're right, I don't know him. I love him.
No, you don't.
Yes.
You don't love him.
Yes, I do.
Moving on. Spring training baseball today. Opening day is Thursday in the major leagues. Spring training baseball, the Cincinnati Reds, Jake Fraley. Bit of a tougher day for Fraley today. One of his toughest of the spring, actually. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Still hovering around 300, though, for his average. Tells you how good he's been. Another very good day for Austin Nola and the San Diego Padres.
Hey! Now, him.
No, of course, yeah.
Austin Nola.
Sure.
Dear friend.
1 for 2 for Austin with a double. Also drove in a run with said double, so an RBI on the day, and drew a walk. Been on base twice, got the average up to 250 in the spring. And then last, but certainly not least, is DJ LeMahieu. No, of the New York Yankees.
Well, tell me, if there was ever an LSU guy that you look at and you go, he probably could have gone to California. That didn't. He's the guy.
Daniel Cabrera.
Well, don't get me started there, because he should have gone to California.
DJ LeMahieu, 1 for 2 today with for the Yankees. A run scored. It was a single. DJ hitting in the middle of the lineup right now to the Yanks. That's interesting. Imagine he'll be back at the top when the season starts. 300 average on the nose for DJ in the spring. Again, opening day is Thursday. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Featuring my good friend Drew Eubanks.
No.
And presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com. That's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. A sparkling, gorgeous, high-quality diamond, from the finest diamonds from India. Every single diamond hand-inspected by a family member before it goes into the case. The lifetime guarantee, and, of course, you will always get the Lee Michaels experience. Don't be intimidated, guys. You're going to pop the question. Do it the right way. Trust the diamond experts that have done it forever. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 40 years, to be exact. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Let's get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, Mike Triplett talking all things Who Dat, and we're talking some Brian Kelly about 20 minutes from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
You know, I love telling you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana because they've changed my life, and they've changed the lives of so many men and women in our communities because, like I tell you every single day, we all age differently. It's something that happens to literally every human. As we age, our body produces less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel, how we sleep at night, how we gain muscle, how we burn fat, how energized we feel when we wake up. All the different things, mood, mental clarity, brain fog, all of it. And as we age, our body produces less and less of those hormones that contribute to how we feel, and it happens at a different rate in every single one of us. So no matter what number your age is, it really doesn't matter. It's all about your life condition and what's happened internally and genetically with you. In the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, a simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. It's affordable, it's safe. It's at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is Sportscenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Tiger Woods appears set to make his return to competitive golf at a tournament he's won 5 times. Woods today said, as of right now, he feels like he's going to play at the Masters. Will play 9 more practice holes tomorrow before making a final decision. He'll do so with the intention of playing Thursday. Tiger also said he thinks he can win.
I can hit it just fine. And I don't have any qualms about what I can do physically from a golf standpoint. It's now walking is the hard part. You know, this is normally not a easy walk to begin with. Now, given the conditions that my leg is in, it gets a little bit more difficult.
Tiger Woods. The Masters would mark his first event on the PGA Tour since suffering serious injuries in a February 2021 car accident. His tee time is 10:34 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. NBA, Lakers again will be without LeBron James tonight against the Suns because of an ankle sprain. LA would be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss, combined with a Spurs win at Denver. Auburn star freshman Jabari Smith is entering the upcoming NBA draft, the SEC Freshman of the Year, projected as a potential #1 overall pick.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. We'll talk some Brian Kelly. Let's hear what Brian Kelly had to say after Saturday's practice, where the media was allowed to observe the entirety of the practice, something that hasn't happened here, I mean, since Jared Denardo was the coach. So we'll get to that coming up in about 15 minutes. Always appreciate a couple of minutes with Mike Triplett, ESPN Saints reporter. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here on what's been a busy 24 hours for the Saints. Mike, thanks. How are you?
Oh, you finally decided to have me on now that the Saints have entered free agency?
Well, I mean, it's been a little slow, needless to say. Do you care to weigh in as to why the Saints have played it, maybe, or your reaction to how they've played it so far after Marcus May to what happened really in the last 24 hours?
Yeah. Well, it's funny to say they're being conservative or methodical or pinching their pennies when they tried to make the biggest move in NFL history for Deshaun Watson. But, I mean, I think the best way to put it is, value is important to them. They will make the big moves for the right player, but they will not just spend freely. And we obviously saw they were willing to let Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus Williams walk away, and they have not pounced on people, some players that are still available that would make fans very excited. Tyrann Mathieu, Jarvis Landry. I think they'd be great fits and would generate a lot of needed buzz for this team. But they very clearly have taken the approach that they still want to make the playoffs this year, think they're a playoff team this year. They're not rebuilding. But they are only going to spend if they think the value is right, and they are actually finally showing some, I'm forgetting the word, with an ability to be patient with how much money they spend.
Restraint
is the word I was going to say. Yes, thank you. So that when they made this trade, that was my first thought was, oh, here you go. Here is a way to add a couple of key players or package those two picks and move up for a top 10 player, a real impact player that helps your playoff chances this year without spending that money. And so I think that was the reason behind the trade they made yesterday, but obviously there could always be a part two to that trade if they package those picks to move up.
Let's elaborate a little more on the trade. What do you think they do there?
I think it's about 50-50 that they're planning to move up. I wish I had more insight. And actually, a lot of times the Saints don't let a lot of leaks out of the building, but they are especially they're especially that way when it comes to the draft. So they don't, they really try to keep their plans close to the vest. But I think it's definitely, you have to consider the possibility that they're doing this because they want to get into the top 10, and now they would have more ammo to do it with, although you could argue they could have just done that with next year's first-round pick as well. I would still be a little surprised if it's for quarterback. I will never rule out quarterback because until they find a definite long-term successor for Drew Brees, that's going to be priority number one. But I didn't get the impression that they loved this year's draft class, and unless it's just a big elaborate smokescreen, it makes no sense to sign both Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton. If you know that a couple days later you're going to make this trade and go up and try to get a quarterback, but I can't rule it out. I actually think if they are moving up, offensive tackle I think comes into play because that's a position where it wouldn't be just one guy. There are three consensus top 10 draft picks at offensive tackle this year, and they could like them all, or they could like two of them and think, now we can get within range for an offensive tackle. Obviously, though, if they stay put, I think one of those picks has to be at receiver, and I think I keep referencing Todd McShay because he used the right phrase. He said that's a sweet spot to draft a receiver in this year's draft class. So it could just be that they've been putting their board together and they like a lot of guys in that range and they want to double dip.
Does this have a feel at all like, I've kind of compared it to 2017 where maybe they feel that's where the value is and they have three picks in the top 50 and they're looking to
for sure.
Essentially, Mike, rebuild the roster the way they did in 2017.
Well, I think they need to. When I look at this roster, I keep kind of shouting down everybody who says, the Saints need to just tear it down and rebuild. I don't think this would be a smart time to tear it down and rebuild, because you would be wasting the last prime years of Cameron Jordan. You'd be wasting the last prime years of DeMario Davis. You don't know how much longer Alvin Kamara is going to be one of the best playmakers in the NFL because of the nature of the running back position. You don't know how much longer Michael Thomas is going to be one of the best receivers in the NFL. You've got Ryan Ramczyk. You've got Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, this is a really talented roster that has had 5 straight winning seasons and had a historic amount of injuries last year and still finished 9-8. This is not a team that you tear down and rebuild on purpose. So they're towing that line between, well, we're not going to keep our pedal, keep the pedal all the way down to the metal and keep spending and mortgaging the future. We're going to try to show some restraint salary cap, but they want to try to win this year. So I think the draft classes are going to be essential if this team is not going to have to face a rebuild in a year or two.
One more on the draft. What do you think the chances are? They have 7 picks right now.
Yeah.
That they use all of them.
0.
It's crazy. It's just
0.
what they do, right?
0. Every year, yeah, exactly. They can't sit still. They can't sit still when they see a guy they like. I mean, my favorite all-time trade was the 4 picks for Adam Troutman, and just being like, we're done for the rest of the draft. And then, of course, they went back in. They went back in round 7 later in that draft. But no, and look, that's they have had by far the fewest number of draft picks over the last, whatever you want to say, 10 years, 5 years, whichever grouping you choose. They've had the fewest draft picks in the NFL. They've traded picks for players. They've packaged picks to move up. And it's a philosophy they believe in. And one of the reasons why over that span is because it's been a hard roster to make. This isn't a team that has 23 openings on the roster this year. This is a team that probably, is going to have 6 to 8 newcomers on the roster that aren't already on the roster right now. So, they want to aim for the, quality over quantity usually is their draft strategy. But I do agree that their strategies and philosophies are changing a little bit now that they find themselves in this sort of in-between limbo.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett. Tyrann Mathieu, of course, was in the building today. Do you think they get a deal done?
I can't say that confidently because I think it makes so much sense that it should have been done already by now if both sides were motivated to do that deal. I think Matthew's price tag has probably already dropped a little bit. I mean, I don't think he's going to get the same size deal that Marcus Williams got, when I think a lot of people thought they'd be in the same range. Maybe he's going to have to settle for 1 year. Maybe he's waiting till after the draft to see which teams didn't fill their need and might be willing to up their offer. But he feels a lot like Tyrann Armstead and Marcus Williams to me, where the Saints do like him, but they've got a cap on what they're going to spend. If they were going to blow that out of the water, they would have kept Tyrann Armstead, I think. But I think it absolutely could happen. If nobody else is offering him money and his price goes down, or he wants to sign a 1-year deal and go back into free agency next year, he obviously seems to want to come here, and he would obviously fill a big need for this team.
What about the other sort of ancillary deals, smaller deals that the Saints have done here in the last 48 hours? Any of them seem significant or guys that actually you think may have a chance of making this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think most of them have a chance of making the team. When you're signing a guy early in free agency, obviously they might not all make the team. The one they just signed today seems like pretty much a exclusively special teams player. They've actually signed a couple guys that, Daniel Sorensen was that way too. He'll probably be mainly a special teams player, but they said he was similar to Jeff Heath. I think the guy they signed today is similar to Garrett Griffin. So I think they're just filling out the roster with some of those guys. But I think the one thing that has stood out most is it's been 3 really experienced veteran defensive linemen that they've signed. That's a position that I don't know how everybody makes the roster right now. I mean, I thought that might be a draft need, because that's when you're going to have to reload at some point, with Cameron Jordan now 32 years old and Onyemata and Marcus Davenport going into the final years of their contract. But they have so many veterans. They're 3 deep now at end and tackle that maybe they feel pretty set on that defensive line, which has obviously been a strength of this team for a long time.
Mike, before you go, I had someone pose this to me, and it was an interesting thought. I'll just bounce it off of you. If Sean Payton coaches next year, the Saints are going to be compensated for that. Do they do this trade deal, maybe in the back of their mind thinking, we're going to get picks for Sean Payton?
I've heard a couple people say that. I don't know if they can completely predict what Sean Payton is going to do next. I think he's made it very clear he wants to sign a TV deal. I don't know that they can be 100% confident that he's definitely just taking 1 year off from coaching. And once it becomes 2 years, if he's been out of coaching for 2 years, did the Saints still get a first-round pick for him? I think you probably move that draft pick down by a round every year that he's out of coaching. So that would be a nice bonus and something that could be in the back of their minds. But I don't think they could be acting like they know they've got a first-round pick coming this year.
He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett, ESPN.com. What an interesting time of year, man. The NFL, I guess, never really does sleep.
No.
It's going to be a fun few weeks, though, leading up to the draft 3 weeks from Thursday. I'm sure we'll bother you again. Thanks for picking up the phone, as always. We appreciate the time.
Never a bother. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be well. That is Mike Triplett. This is After Further Review. I want to remind you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Had more bad weather come through today. What is it with Tuesdays? The last 3 Tuesdays have just been horrendous. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Something that has also become very clear to us and our staff is so many of you have filed a claim with your insurance, be it from Ida or a hailstorm or maybe this recent rain. You've had your adjuster out. You've gotten your scope of work, maybe even have a check from your insurance company, but you're just not sure what the next step is. Give us a call at Hudco Roofing, 364-1007, 364-1007, or HudcoRoofing.com. We will gladly take the time to walk you through what your options are. Everything that's laid out in your scope of work. If you feel like maybe the insurance company is lowballing you, that may be the case, may not, but we're happy to help you and walk through that whole process. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's Ryan Terrio, that's Richard Tilley, that's me, that's Sam Hay. That's our staff at Hudco. And we service the entire state of Louisiana. I had someone ask me this morning, hey, man, do y'all come to Mandeville in the North Shore? Absolutely. Had someone ask me yesterday, as a realtor in Lafayette, hey, I'm trying to get deals done in Lafayette, having trouble getting roofing. Yes, absolutely. The entire state, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You want to see pictures of our beautiful work? Go to HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Commercial or residential, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We did spend some time yesterday kind of recapping the Saturday practice out at LSU for spring football. They are on the practice field today, but no media availability. I do want to revisit some of what Brian Kelly had to say when he met with the media after Saturday's practice. We'll do that next. Also coming up, waiting on the lineup to be posted for LSU and Grambling. A little baseball at the box. Jay Johnson alluded to lineup changes and maybe more defensive kind of lineup tonight. We'll see what that might look like. Should have that in the next 15 minutes or so. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Don't you move.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. That's GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Check them out online. So proud of our buddies over at GMFS Mortgage, all the great men and women, the local loan officers that have helped build that company since 1999 to now where they are Louisiana's largest local lender, GMFSmortgage.com. I tell you every day to change your life. What if, especially as we've seen inflation go up and the value of the dollar go down and COVID's just increased pricing and everything, what if you could save money every month on your mortgage payment? What if you could skip a couple of mortgage payments as you go through closing? What if you could pay off your loan years earlier than you thought? It's possible with these historically low rates. Get in touch with a local loan officer today. GMFSmortgage.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorns in stock with 0% APR for 72 months. Shop our inventory or let us custom order your Ram with up to $2,000 bonus cash, million-mile warranty, and more. Shop BayouCDJR.com or visit us off I-10 in La Plaza. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Dad!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Yes!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Todd McShay, I'm going to get to the Brian Kelly stuff in just a second. Todd McShay did put up a mock draft today, just food for thought, since the Saints-Eagles trade. And he's got the Saints using their picks, and this is a mock draft where he can project trades, so does not have the Saints trading up. He's got the Saints taking Trevor Penning, the offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa at 16, Jordan Davis, the big defensive lineman out of Georgia, the freak show defensive lineman out of Georgia at 19, and then John Mechie, receiver out of Alabama at 49 with their second-round pick. And that's one of the things where I look at, and I'm not going to freak out if the Saints make it through round 1 and they have not taken a receiver, because at 49, there is going to be great value. If John Mechie is there at 49, if Pickens from Georgia is there at 49, like, there's going to be elite receiver talent in round 2. The Saints plug Michael Thomas in round 2. I mean, there is going, in this draft in particular, mostly because you have some really talented dudes that have had injuries that are probably going to knock them down a little bit. You're going to have a great receiving option in round 2 to where you can take best available. And I'm telling you, it feels a lot like where they were in 2017 when they had 2 first-round picks, and they took Lattimore, and then they took Ramchick at 32. And I was one of those going, what are you doing taking a tackle? You have 2 first-round picks. Take someone that's going to make you better today instead of a guy that's going to maybe get you better in the future. Well, we know what happened. Zach Strief got injured, and then Ramczyk became your starter and never looked back. But the way they looked at it was they're sitting there at 32, and they had Ramczyk as their highest graded tackle. Like, we're going to take the guy we feels like the best tackle in this draft at 32. Of course you're going to take that value prop there. So they did. And I think that's what they're going to do this year as well with those 2 picks, provided they use 16 and 19. There's just a lot of I think there's going to be a lot of value in this draft. So, anyway, we'll see how that goes. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. So Brian Kelly met with the media after practice on Saturday. Of course, we've talked about it a bunch. First practice, I was open to the media, fully open, start to finish, and since Jared DiNardo was the coach here. And what was interesting listening to Brian Kelly after practice on Saturday wasn't so much about individual players, but more overarching philosophy and mindset and attitude and approach. And that's kind of where they are. It feels like where you should be 5 practices into your first spring when you inherited a team that had back-to-back 500 seasons and 39 scholarship players to the bowl game, and you've had to add 17 mid-year enrollees. And Brian Kelly kind of started with that, like where their focus is right now.
I'm so excited because I'm teaching our guys how to prepare, and I really can't worry much about, who's the number 1 corner, who's the second quarterback, who's the number 2 left tackle, because all the work here is in our preparation and how we're practicing and preparing the right way. So when we get into the season, I'll know that if we're preparing the right way, all that other stuff will take care of itself. That, by and large, is where we're at right now. And I'm not really concerned about who the starting corner is and who the starting left tackle is. That will take care of itself and kind of sort itself out as we get, further into spring ball, preseason camp, and our opener against Florida State.
It's kind of weird, right? Because it's counterintuitive. Like we're here like frothing, wondering who's winning position battles, and they're just not there. It's just not about that right now. You have a guy that's in there trying to instill a culture and good habits and work ethic in this team before he can even figure out who's going to play where. So, we're all familiar with most of the guys on this roster. They're still learning them all and how they're going to all fit in. So it does make some sense. Brian Kelly was asked if there's been anything so far that surprised him about his team.
No, I don't know that I'm surprised. I like their willingness to adapt to each day. There's been a lot for them to handle. This is quite different for them. Different in the way that we're preparing them. I think they've done a really good job with routines because we've changed their routine. And routines are about, I got to do this at 12. I got to be here at 3. But they have habits that have been instilled in them as well. And we're trying to reshape habits, and that takes longer. And I think what I'm most pleased with is that they're willing to do away with old habits and at the same time stick to some of these routines that we've built in. So I don't know that surprised as much as pleased with their willingness to do what's necessary, in my opinion, to be a championship team.
You see what I mean? Like, he's not talking about what positions are thriving, where he's excited about the talent. Like, it's none of that. It almost feels like if you're an artist and you walk in on the first day and you're looking at the materials that are there for, or if you're a contractor and you're looking at all the different fixtures that you have to put the finishing touches on this home. Like, that's where he is. He's more excited about what he gets to work with and how he's molding this clay. I know that's really abstract and probably sounds a little dumb, but I don't know that you can take it any other way. If you're Brian Kelly, I don't think you can just fast forward the growth process. Like, you've got to go through this and understand this is a guy that left a team that was in the conversation for the playoff. And he inherits a team that's had back-to-back 500 seasons and had 39 scholarship players to the bowl game. Brian Kelly took a major regression, leaving Notre Dame, which he had established for more than a decade, and inheriting LSU, which, of course, I believe the ceiling is far higher, but its current state is far behind where Notre Dame is. So I think it's kind of encouraging listening to him talk as well, because he kind of sound energized? Like the challenge of what's at hand has kind of got him juiced a little bit as well. They did ask about install. So, where are they in that process right now?
We've thrown a lot offensively at them. Anytime you have, a different system, there's going to be a learning curve there. Again, I think what I'm most interested in is retention. They're going to make mistakes, but I think what we're evaluating is who are the guys that are able to retain the information, and then what kind of learners are they? Are these guys that are, do they learn by watching film? Do they learn by walkthrough? Do they learn by taking reps? So we're kind of working through that process right now. So, this is our 5th practice, and we're getting a better understanding of, say, for example, how Nussmeier learns versus how, Brennan learns. And that's kind of the process that we're in right now.
If there's one guy that is interesting to see where he is, it is Miles Brennan, who, another head coach, another offensive coordinator, who, look, he was recruited by Cam. He was here under Matt Canada. He went through Ensminger, the change this past year with Peets, and now Denbrock. It has been a lot of change for Miles Brennan. And Brian Kelly was asked kind of about Brennan being a quarterback who has the opportunity now to play under an offensive-minded head coach.
Well, I think that was part of the reason that he shared with me that he decided to come back. I think that, he wanted to be in a system where the head coach was involved with the quarterbacks. Part of the system is certainly quarterback friendly. The head coach is involved in it. I think that had a lot to do with it. And, he's a Tiger, he loves LSU, and, you can see he's in so much better shape. He's physically in a good spot, mentally he's in a good spot. And, he's a veteran, and that is such a great commodity to have in college football today.
That's very true. Where transfers are the norm, to have a guy that's his 6th season is just crazy. By the way, if this video we're playing, I don't know if you can show this again, Paulie. By the way, courtesy of Jacques Doucet of WAFB, who posted this video on Twitter. It's Brennan and the quarterbacks taking reps and throwing the football. But that's Marlon Martinez who's snapping the football there. So we did hear that Brad Davis is trying to cross-train 6 different guys at center. And Charles Turner is sort of the guy that we all are thinking is probably going to win that job. But there's Martinez playing a position he hadn't played since he's been on campus yet, but he was there. I'm not making anything of this, just other than he was the one snapping the football there to the quarterbacks in that drill. So one of the guys we know that is working and rotating there at the center spot is Martinez. And who knows? Brian Kelly said pre-spring they're not done they need tight end. And they're not done on the offensive line. So if there's a tight end, if there's a starting caliber center out there that they could add in transfer portal, I think they'd have to look at it. So just a few thoughts from Brian Kelly here as they're a third of the way through spring drills here. It's still a few weeks away from the spring game. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Or 1hourbr.com. See the yellow trucks and vans all over town. I trust them like so many of our friends and neighbors trust River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. Preseason AC tune-up. Take advantage of it. You wouldn't drive across the country without getting your oil changed first. You shouldn't go through the warm weather months in Louisiana without making sure your home central AC is tuned up and ready to roll. 752-0001. Mention the Moscona special, and they'll always get you $25 off any service. River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. All right, y'all, been a really good show. Appreciate you for hanging out with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. Back in studio after a couple of days on the road in New Orleans for the Final Four on Friday and on Monday. But been a busy show, and we're glad you're aboard with us. Remember, if you miss anything, it's on demand. We talked plenty about Tyrann Mathieu visiting the Saints. Justice Hill was with us in hour number 1. LSU basketball guard transfer. He was here in hour number 1. If you missed that, You can listen on demand, presented by Brett Golf, or go back and check it on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Check out today's show and all of our station shows that air live on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Wait on the roster to be posted, the lineup to be posted today for the LSU Grambling game, which we're inside of an hour away from first pitch. When that's posted, we'll run through it. Jay Johnson hinted at some defensive changes. We'll see what they are. Hopefully we have them when we're back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling a home? You know what to do. Call Darren James and get your home sold. There's a reason. I tell you all the time, Darren wins all these awards, and he's the number one realtor in EXP in Louisiana, and he's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. There's a reason why Darren closes so many homes. There's a reason why Darren wins so many awards. It's because of the way he works. It's because of the way he treats his clients. When you do that much volume, yet you have a way of treating all of your clients like they're your only client, they can't help but remember it and recommend you. That's Darren James. It's why I've been thrilled for a decade now to recommend Darren James. And I've had thousands of AFR listeners call Darren and have an unbelievable customer service experience, whether it's buying or selling their home. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Buying or selling commercial or residential. Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has 0.9% for 60 months on new Ford F-150 plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
The motivation I needed to live healthier. My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, so the lineup is posted tonight, and Jay Johnson did allude to on his coach's show a more defensive lineup, and they are doing that. There is one fantastic piece of news. Alex Milazzo is going to start at catcher. And I'm not here to argue with you about whether you think he should or it should be Travinski's, but I don't care what you think about that. And you shouldn't care what I think about that, just opinions, okay? Alex Milazzo is your best defensive catcher, and he's healthy enough to start. That's a great thing for LSU, period. That's not even debatable. It's a great thing when your best option at the most important defensive position on the field is available. That's a good thing, okay? Collier Cranford's going to start at short. Now, they're playing Grambling, and this should not be an issue. It should be a game where you can sacrifice a bat for a glove. I'll be curious to see if Jay Johnson will do this on the weekend. Now, that's not the only change, by the way. There's more I'm going to get to in a second. And what they decided to do ultimately is they pulled the guy who is of least consequence defensively and maybe has the least of the bats in the lineup, and that's Gio. Gio goes to the bench. And Jacob Berry goes back to right field. So here's what they did. Dylan Cruz is going to lead off. He's going to play in center. So that's a switch. K. Doty had been leading off. Jacob Berry goes to the 2-hole, trying to get him some more fastballs. So Berry in the 2-hole. He'll play right field. K. Doty will bat third and play third base, which I like. I think I think he can handle third. I think he's played more third than anything else. He played third in high school. I think he'll be fine there. Trey Morgan is going to bat cleanup and play first base. Jordan Thompson will stay at second base and bat fifth. Braden Jobert will DH and bat sixth. Gavin Dugas will bat seventh and play left. We mentioned Alex Milazzo will bat eighth and will catch. And then Collier Cranford will bat ninth and play short. Generally speaking, if you're going to sacrifice defense for offense, you do it at premium defensive positions, which is right at the middle. It's not actually that dissimilar from, look at like a defense, right, in football. You got your nose tackle, your middle linebacker, your free safety. I mean, that's where you're most important, straight up the middle. Same thing in baseball with your catcher, your middle infield, really your shortstop, and your center fielder. So that's oftentimes where you might be willing to sacrifice offense for defense. I reference often maybe the best offensive team Paul Maneri had was in 2013. That was a team that hit, I would say 1 through 9, but really they hit 1 through 8, and then later in the season they had 1 through 7. But all those guys hit 300. And they let Andrew Stevenson play center, and he hit 190 because he was an amazing defensive center fielder. And Ty Ross caught and hit 215 that year. He was an out, but he was a great defensive catcher. And you had 7 dudes hitting 300, so it was okay. Look, Mike Papierski was like that at LSU for a chunk of his career, where offensively it didn't click, but he was a brick wall. And when Alex Lang wanted to bury a 58-foot breaking ball because that was his out pitch, he knew he could spike it in front of the plate, and 100 times out of 100, Pap was going to block it up. That's why catcher is so important. I feel like we had this conversation a lot last year, and we're going to continue to have it. But when the guy literally is the only player on the field that touches the ball every play other than the pitcher, similar to a center in football. He manages your pitching staff. He controls the running game. Like, it just matters so much at that position. So, yeah, if Milazzo is able to play, great. And there's a lot of people say, well, Travinski deserves ABs. Okay. Let Travinski be a right-handed DH. Put Jobert on the bench, or put Jobert in right and put Gio on the bench. If you want that right-handed bat in the lineup. Okay, I'm not saying bench Travinski, never give him another opportunity. He swung a good bat, and he deserves some ABs. But if you're going to give me an elite defensive catcher, I'll start with that guy. Give me that guy every time. Because what happens on the weekend when Travinski goes 1 for 12 with 4 strikeouts and is a liability defensively? I'm not saying he's bad. McManus is a liability defensively. Travinski's better than McManus, but neither of them are as good as Milazzo. Give me the guy that's going to be an elite glove 56 times every time you run out there and can maybe bring you some productive at-bats, even if it's pushing a ball to the right side to move a runner, sacrifice fly, lay a bunt down. And I hate bunting, but if that's what you feel like you need to get a productive at-bat out of someone who's an out, then you do it. So let's see. Let's see how that goes tonight. Jay Johnson, this is a significant change. And it's coming from a guy at a time where he knows that defensively it's a liability. And they got to get better. I'm interested in the lineup change, too, just the fact that they got Morgan batting cleanup, and they made that jumble with their top 4. But, he does like to go lefty-righty, lefty-righty. I mean, Cruz is obviously a righty, and Barry, if Grambling's starting to righty, will bat lefty, and K. Doty will bat from the right side, and Morgan will bat from the left side, and then Thompson from the right side, so Joe Bear from the left. So you do have that alternating lefty-righty there as well with this lineup until you get to the bottom. So here we go. See how it plays tonight. And again, the LSU should have enough offense in this lineup with their top 7 guys. I mean, this just reminds me of 2013. Your top 7, Cruz, Barry, Doty, Morgan, Thompson, Joe Bear, Dugas, all those guys should hit. Your top 7 should hit. And you got 2 guys in the lineup that are in there for their glove. And if they give you anything offensively, okay. And that's Milazzo and Cranford. So let's see how this works out. And obviously you got Barry back in right field. So might be an adventure. We're going to find out. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by DraftKings. Of course, if you want to bet on that LSU baseball game tonight, you can do so. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, use the promo code Baton Rouge when you do so. DraftKings Sportsbook app, it's amazing. Live in Louisiana, DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. They always have great incentives for you, like right now, golf season in full swing. Get in on the action on the course with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Incredible. You got the Masters this week. New customers can bet $5 on the golf's first major and get $25 in free bets for every birdie that Bryson DeChambeau sinks in the first round. How about that? Bet just $5, and they'll give you $25 for every birdie Bryson DeChambeau sinks in the first round. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Don't wait any longer. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge, and you can win. Now, here is the disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. I would guess that the Otter is also going to have a lot of the Masters picks today on his show. Otter Locks is coming up. He texted us that he has a smorgasbord of NBA bets, so that's coming up. The Otter did give us UNC plus 4.5. Cha-ching. It was fun to pick Kansas and to cash the ticket on Carolina 4.5 was a good day. Otter Locks is next. Stay here.
AFR.
If you want crawfish tonight, you know where to go. Rouse's. Nobody in Louisiana boils more crawfish on a given day than Rouse's. That is a scientific fact because all of the Rouse's locations have their own in-house boiling rooms. They all boil crawfish in-house from open until close. And you, my dear friends, are the beneficiary. So you want boiled crawfish tonight, go to Rouse's. You want that cold beer to go with it. They've got all your favorites from domestics and all that craft beer they've got for you as well, supporting great Louisiana craft breweries. It's Rouse's Markets, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics. Live and boiled crawfish. Yes, you want your boiled crawfish, they got it. But if you are doing your own crawfish boil, Rouse's has live crawfish. They even sell pots and paddles and boil and mix and everything that you would put in your pot. They got it at Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics. Rouse's, where this feels like home.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. It should taste like beer. More taste, 96 calories. Miller Lite.
Each year, Guarantee Media hosts a radiothon to benefit dreams come true. And this year, we need your help more than ever.
We've interviewed these incredible kids, and each and every one of their stories brings tears to our eyes.
To have a dream granted means more to these families than you'll ever know.
And it wouldn't be possible without your help.
Dreams Come True has been hit hard by the events of the past year.
So we ask for your support in helping this incredible cause.
Our Dreams Come True radiothon is powered by the Baton Rouge Clinic. Visit GuaranteeMedia.com to pledge your support today.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s plus $1,000 bonus cash. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. And right now, get $1,000 bonus cash plus 0% APR for 60 months on new 2021 Ford F-150. Shop now at BayouFord.com. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and Ochsner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop for you for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, Carolina, plus 4.5. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, and that's why. Remember, we bought it to 5 last night, and that certainly
I
could
didn't
have
buy
come into
5.
play. Okay, well, we advised that. And the other thing, now, when we kind of got full-blown sports gambling, I never anticipated hockey or golf to play such an active role in the show. But that's the way it's just evolved.
Hey,
but
man.
One thing
wait, hold on. Golf started playing an active role in your show during COVID because it was the only damn thing going on. That's when you went deep dive into golf.
No question, they gained a fan.
Yeah,
they gained a fan because they got back on the course before everybody else. But those winners coming in to help too. So I mean, when you can hit a few of those guys, we got tons of master picks the next couple of nights. But the one thing is, in game, I did anticipate. And if you've listened to our show and you didn't in game last night, you're just not paying it. You get enough. I mean, you had so many opportunities. I took Carolina at plus 3.5. I took Carolina plus 5.5. I took Carolina plus 8.5 at the highest. I'm sorry, Kansas on all those because I had Carolina free flop. So a little bit at a time. So there you go. Hey, we got a full plate tonight, so I don't want to run out of time.
Yeah, no, you're good.
5-pack. You know how to. I got 5 for you. All right, here we go. Toronto. Toronto -4 at home. They are. We'll get to an explanation in just a little bit. But one little hiccup at home against the Heat, the red hot Heat, the other day, and they've righted that. They're going to be fine at home against the Hawks tonight. We don't play a whole lot of defense. Hawks don't have Gallinari or Collins. Laying a modest number at 4.5. Okay. Toronto -4. Indiana plus 11.5 at home against Philadelphia. 76ers are overpriced. They're underperforming. A poor ATS after a little bit of a nice start since they picked up James Harden. They failed to cover again against Cleveland on Sunday. That's a big number on the road. Indiana plus 11.5. Cleveland at Orlando, laying 8 at Bet Rivers. One of the real surprise teams in the first half. Actually, the best ATS team of the first half, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hitting the wall lately. Doesn't help that they lost Garrett Allen and probable Rookie of the Year, Evan Mobley. We're also out tonight. Laying 8 on the road is too many. Miami, 5 against Charlotte, now to 4.5 at some places. After some internal issues, looks like they have righted the ship approaching the playoff. 2-game lead for that number 1 seed, still playing for something. Miami at home against Charlotte. And the other one is Houston plus 17.5. Do the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, whatever they are, do they really deserve to be 17.5-point favorites over anybody? Houston, still playing hard against. They played the T-Wolves on Sunday. They're still, covering a big number. So there's your 5-pack. Three lanyap kicks in there. I like a 5-pack. Charlie, you like an 8-pack. Denver -9, Jazz -5.5, King plus 8. Toronto, Indiana, Orlando, Miami, Houston, Denver, Jazz, Kings. I know we're going against the home team, the Pels, in that one tonight. They've kind of a little heavy leg on the late end of this trip. Also looking at some of the game time decisions also. Giannis is a game time decision. They tip at 7:10 tonight. We'll let you know about 6:30, 6:40 if he's going to play or not for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. And they basically try and close out their division tonight. Hey, man, how about the city, the New Orleans?
It was
I don't
awesome.
know how much you got.
God,
Wasn't it great? Wasn't it great?
What a weekend, man. I mean, perfect weather. Those 4 fan bases, just the perfect spot for a major event, man. Proved it once again. Otter, hey, real quick, where are you? 10 seconds, where are you?
Earnside salad. Come on, baby.
Go get you a salad at Mike Anderson's. All right, Otter, thank you, man. Have a great night.
See you, man. Thank
you.
you.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us there at Mike Anderson's. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. The Williamson Eye Center, they can make it a reality. If you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, you know that drawer in your bathroom that has all of the stuff? You know what I'm talking about. The big bottle of contact solution, the travel size contact solution, the boxes with all of your extra lenses that they come in, the contact lens case, and like the 4 previous cases you have that just stick in the back of the drawer, your glasses that you wear at nighttime when you take your contacts out, even like 2 prescriptions ago because you take them with you on the road whenever you're traveling, like all that stuff. Take that drawer and just throw it in the trash. That's what I was able to do 3 years ago. LASIK gave me 20/20 vision, and I could not be more thrilled. 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for